Hello, hello to everyone. Welcome back. We are
Hello.
here and we are ready to talk. And today I'm starting because I'm sitting back and I am learning. And Natasha is going to lead us in a discussion about CMMC. And I'm going to have a million questions. And I hope every question I have hits the questions that every viewer has. So, Miss Natasha,
Yeah.
let us start with you. You are the expert. We bow down to your expertise.
Well,
Teach me.
we are here to talk about CMMC, ladies and gentlemen, because
Ooh.
no matter where you are in the federal space, I am pretty sure you've heard it. Those acronyms,
Yeah.
they're near and dear to everyone's heart right now. And most people are asking me that are not 100% like, sure, what is it? And so,
Can you define that?
yeah,
Can you
of
tell
course.
me what do the acronyms stand for? Speak, Natasha, speak, girl.
All right. So CMMC is for the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. Now, for anyone that understands, cybersecurity, which is probably maybe like 10% of you guys, cybersecurity is essentially how we protect our data, right? How do we protect our data from our adversaries? We're no stranger to knowing that we sell our services and our products to the federal government. And so we do that. We have access to what we want to say CUI data, which is controlled information. It's information that the government gives us to secure and use how, we see fit in regards to the contract that we've been awarded. So whether that's systems integration, whether that's, supporting in cybersecurity, agile project management, whatever that looks like, we're given information and that information needs to be secure. So, CMMC.
So, when you talk about information, give me an idea of what type of information are you talking about? And, is it inclusive of staffing contracts? Because, that's my world.
Yeah.
And is it inclusive of logistics? What type of company would need some sort of level like this to be able to operate and function in contracting?
I feel like that is a two-part question in regards to like, it depends. It depends on the contract, not necessarily the industry. I think a lot of people get that kind of confused, like, oh, it's only IT, right? Like, no. Because if you're a project manager to a contract where you're doing program or project management, it depends on the level of data and the type of data they give you, right? So, like, if they're giving me, let's think personnel's data. You don't want your adversaries to know who are the people working on base, their contact information, their addresses, their socials, right? You want to protect their data, especially if you have top secret clearance or something of that magnitude. So, like, it can go from literally any of those things and it could still be staffing,
Wow, I'm listening to it and I'm relating now. I'm thinking you're right, that project management component, even on a staffing when we're talking about billing and invoicing and servicing.
Right.
Speak to me, girl. I'm feeling it.
Think about it this way, it's harder to infiltrate the federal government, right? But we know that the federal government spends a lot of their dollars supporting government contractors to do a lot of the work. Well, it's easier to infiltrate a small business that doesn't necessarily have their cybersecurity in order, and doesn't have the protections in place. So I want to say CMMC was born around 2019. I remember being at the beginning of the forefront of CMMC because I was at the time a CIO. And I was learning about it. So I had to do all the CMMC courses and learn all about it. But initially, it came as CMMC 1.0. And the framework was that essentially the defense industrial base was having concerns because there were so many cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Like we were getting hacked left and right, right?
Now, 2019, we have a lot of things happening
Yeah.
during this time frame.
Yeah.
So let's think about the news and what was happening in 19, and we had COVID starting.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of things that were out there that, of course, it sounds like the government needed to protect.
Yes. And I think it was a little too much at the time, not for nothing. As we all do, we throw something out there and then we retract it. And we're like, oh, wait, maybe we did too much, right? So they came out, they saw this problem and they said, okay, we keep getting hacked. How have we been managing our contractors,
That makes sense.
and
Yeah.
how they were managing them previously to ensure that they were tracking their controls and keeping track of their data and, honoring it was based on the honor system. You were getting self-attested. So you were telling the government, yeah, we have all these in place. Just believe me.
Yeah, we promise you.
We got this.
We got this. We're good.
Lo and behold, some people lied. Some people didn't mean to. But nonetheless, whatever that looked like, you didn't have it together. Nonetheless, CMMC 1.0 was born. It was the wake-up call that was absolutely needed for the Department of Defense. So DoD comes out with this robust framework. Needless to say, the whole world lost their shit because at that time, it quite literally was March of 2020. So not only were you trying to learn about I need to sanitize, I need to close, am I required or not required? So I need to be in the office.
Now you got some more stuff painted right on top of everything you thought you had.
What is all the requirements now? You were on weekly calls because the requirements changed every 5 seconds. In that, the government said, you know what else you need to do while you're figuring out this whole mess? You got 5 levels. 5 levels of security you need to figure out. You have a robust 5-level maturity model. And it was so complicated. It was so expensive. Small businesses were complaining. Large businesses were like, seriously? And it was just too much.
Talk to me about the small business component when you're talking about this time frame. What type of costs were you talking? Are you talking about the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands?
Hundreds. Wow. Because of the requirements. There was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 117 requirements or something like that. And as you went up the maturity model, it got more and more complicated. So the highest being the things that Deloitte or Accenture or Lockheed would want to do, level 5, right? And level 1 was, I think it was 15 or 17, something like that. Requirements. They were all based on NIST 171 or something like that. And there was 100, and I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but I think it was 117. That's where the 117, I think it was 117 requirements. So there were all the little things, think 2-factor authentication, using SharePoint or GCC High, what type of SharePoint or Microsoft, what kind of data was allowed to be, was it allowed to be on Google Drive? Or did you have to have a secure site? What can
now
you email?
Those I am familiar with. NIST, when you mention NIST, all of those kind of
essentially
cheers, all of those kind of wind into that NIST stuff.
Yes. And so that's what it was for. But with NIST 800-171, everyone was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. I can't officially afford that. Plus it was critically mandated that you had a third-party assessor that came in and did government audits. It was just crazy. So you couldn't have no more certifications alone. And it was just too comprehensive. So November 2021, around that time, we've been doing this November timeframe. So November 2021, they said, okay, I hear you. There was a lot of back and forth. They came out with CMMC 2.0, which is what we are in now. And they brought it down to 3 maturity models. You have your basic, which is 17 basic requirements. Then you have your level 2, which is advanced. I think it's 110. So it's huge change. Oof. And then your expert, which was your advanced. And that was the full requirements, right? Along with advanced threats and stuff like that. So you had 3 levels. But what they did with those 3 levels is they broke them out in phases, which is nice. The phases
Okay.
are, where you'll see, is that November 10th, 2024, contractors were required to have either a level 1 or level 2 self-attestation. So
Okay.
honor system still. Then a year later, November 2025, it's last year, some contracts were required that you would have a level 2 third-party certification. So not only do you have to pay for someone to get you to a level 2, but now you have to pay for an outside consulting company to come and audit to ensure that you are, in fact, have your little certification, right?
Mm-hmm.
Phase 3 is this year in November. Some contracts will require a level 3 certification, which is way more. It's like 110, right? 110 to 117 or something like that. And then phase 4 is next year. That's going to be the full implementation. So every contractor, subcontract that handle CY will require at some point in time a CMMC certification of some sort.
So we're going back to Tammy's basic mind, because this is for me. So give me an idea. I don't know. Give me an idea. That first level, what types of contracts are you seeing that require the first level versus the second, the third? And I know, of course, it's all going to be security contingent, right? If you are doing top secret type, you're going to need a higher level, but just give us an idea of contract opportunities.
You're going to see level 1 more and probably SLED opportunities that are very basic and easy. You don't get a lot of information that's required. So think about like maybe website design, maybe graphic design, maybe coming in like just very border basic baseline. But it's not going to stay at a level 1 forever. Eventually, I think everyone's going to be required to have some level 2 or 3.
Okay.
And also think about it this way. It's going to trickle down to your subs. So even if you don't feel that you personally need to have a level 2 because you don't do that, your prime it will make that mandatory. If they have a contract, for instance, where they're doing a whole restructure, IT modernization, right? But they only give you a small task order. It's graphic design. Well, that's no CUI in that, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. They're going to get level 2.
Get a drink, because now I'm getting ready to ask you the questions that enter my mind when I'm thinking of small business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking your CFO mind to kick in.
Okay.
How do you tell, A, can they do this themselves? Can they do the paperwork, fill out the application, do all of that?
No.
And B, if they can't, what type of budget should they be thinking at, looking at? Talk about the finance of it.
So think about it this way. There's like GSA. Let's use a GSA as an example.
Good example. Right? Good example.
So many people think that they can use GSA. They're like, oh, I'll just use GSA. GSA is good, right? GSA, if you do it yourself, will take you, most companies take 6 months to a year. And then they do it wrong. And sometimes they don't do it at all. Or they get overwhelmed and then it ends up in the back burner and it's been years, right? You keep going back and forth with the contracting officer because you're not doing it right.
Yep.
Some things are better left for someone else. Unless you know how to do cybersecurity, I wouldn't suggest that you do it yourself because this is very, very niche. And there's a lot of controls. 110 controls. And these are not just controls. Think about it this way. It's not just a check of the box. Think of all the things that you have to get to achieve a certification. You have to do a gap analysis, which is understanding your current state of your company versus the CMMC requirements. So where's the gap? Mm-hmm. What do I have and what do I need to work on? Does what I have in place work and meet those standards? You have remediation planning, which is creating policies. Mm-hmm. A lot of writing. Every department needs to have a policy. They need to have a risk mitigation strategy. What happens if we get, hacked? Who do we report to? Who's our FSO? All the things, right? You need to have those in place. You need to have SOPs. You need to have poems. You need to have that all written down. It can't be in here anymore, right? Then you need to create that documentation development. So all of that is going to be created and assessed and reviewed and approved. Then you need technology implementation. Oh, we're not saying we're putting on SharePoint. We've gotten GCC High.
Yeah.
Now we're putting it in SharePoint.
Okay, I'm putting the calculator together.
Now I got to pay also for the software. Let's not even play with that. Because now you got to get the software, right?
Okay.
Oh, I can't use this software. There was a whole conversation about like if you could put certain documents in Teams or if you needed to put it all in SharePoint. Well, where then can I put it? Who can I share it with? Who can I email? I mean, it gets really dramatic, right? So you almost had to change the technology, the software you were using, support that. VPNs, having VPNs, and should you be using Wi-Fi in a public place that can easily be interceptable? Like, no, you have to get a VPN now. Everybody needs a VPN on their laptop. So it became a big thing, right? The other thing, personnel training, teaching personnel how to be CMMC compliant. It's an operational change. You can't do this. You can't do that. You got to let me know if you're going to travel to Europe. I need to talk to you. You need to talk to our FSO. We need to talk about in case somebody asks you questions about the type of company you work for and what you do. That's your data, right? So all of that, and then your assessment preparation, because let's be real, at the end of the day, you still got to get audited by a third party. So you're still going to have a cost there. You can't audit yourself. So at the end of the day, you're going to put that out there. Someone's going to audit you. And then ongoing compliance.
It's just I'm
because you're gonna get audited again. It's not a lifelong audit where you get to keep it forever. You're gonna get self-assessed again.
It's clear this is not for the faint of heart.
No.
Can you sit here and make and there are some people that can probably pull the paperwork out and maybe succeed in doing it. The number of people that can probably do that is very, very low.
Very low.
So now here's the next question. We go on LinkedIn, we go on all of these places and we're trying to find a consultant and everyone in the world is posting about this. CMMC, I am an expert. I can help you. I can do this. I can do this. And while you and I always talk about how do you kind of slate out those folks that are real versus those that are just trying to get your business.
Right.
What are some tactics that you would give to us to be able to make that determination?
I usually ask people to give me a thorough phased plan of like what you would do upon start. And if you don't know, you can ChatGPT it. You can get quotes from multitude of places. So I'm always like a big proponent of like a 3 rule. Get 3 quotes. If you get 3 quotes and they're all similar, then you know that they all have the same approach, then they're not lying. But if you get someone that comes off with like some real dusty information, they're just like, that doesn't match the other 2. The other 2 are very close, then you know there's something off about that one. So always kind of go based on your gut on that one. The other thing is when I see people send me ChatGPT quotes. If you send me a ChatGPT quote, you didn't come up with a strategy. You just asked ChatGPT to come up with a strategy. I can't even mess with you right now.
Question. Is it unrealistic? If I am Tammy Hester, I want to get this done. I'm watching this and I say, okay, Natasha, I want to work with you. Am I out of line by saying, can you give me 3 companies that you have successfully done this for? And then have the ability to call those companies?
No, that's perfectly fine.
So as a consultant, are you ever offended by that?
No. I'd be like, I get excited when people, I'm like,
girl, I'm saying that on purpose. You see?
I'm like, here, we need to call. Like, I have great reviews.
You know, I'm asking the questions on purpose because you know this is my pet peeve, ergo a future podcast about consultants and being able to weed them out. So I'm mentioning this because it's really important, guys. If you're going to go into this, I'm not saying yes, no to any certain person, but here's what I will tell you. You better get your past performance from those folks, and they better have a company that is searchable in FPDS or any verifiable situation.
So going away.
and get confirmation. Because people will swear to you, and they, as she said, they'll give you a chat GPT response and swear that they've done something for you.
So I'll do a shameless plug here. We do level 2 assessment and get you ready for 37,000. I have done my homework and looked around too to ensure that we are competitive. And when I look around, it seems to be the going rate. Anyone that charges you more than 40 grand, beware.
So this is not for the weak at heart. This certification is not for that company that I just want to get some government contract.
Yes.
No.
No.
This is somebody that is in GovCon, in cyber, in IT, in whatever your lane is, you are in it. And you understand it's like a joint commission certification. You get why it's important.
That and really read through your FAR. I know people skip it and don't. And Tammy, you know that because
yes,
SCA, like you miss SCA if you skip it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your FAR, it's gonna tell you whether you need to be level 1, level 2, level 3. Now, also think about it this way: small non-traditional businesses. Your non-traditionals are going to be required. You know why? Because you guys do innovation. Innovation.
That's big.
Development. You creating any sort of software or prototype for the government, you need to be level 2.
And there are a lot of innovation programs and innovative contracts and large acquisitions. Bing, bing, bing.
Level 2. So, and non-traditionals are companies that don't necessarily win government contracts. They don't go for government contracting. They just like to develop innovative ideas and militarize and commercialize it, right? And that's okay. But you're going to also have to play in the game where you get level 2 because you're going to be accessing data that, could be easily taken. So think about what it is in your company you do. And I, I'm going to play the evil's advocate here, but I just feel like
go ahead.
I just feel like you all need to have it anyways. It's not a bad situation to have your security standard operating procedures documented. It's going to help you. You're going to be way better. You're going to have like a strong system so that when it does come about that you need it, you don't have to fumble and try to get it done. It's not something that you can do in a day. It's not something you could do even in a month.
Yeah.
Talking 3 to 6 months, and I got to be honest, you don't want to wait till the last minute. You don't want to wait till it's required.
Ding. There you go. Because once it's a requirement, it changes the whole game. Do it.
Yes.
Yes. And now let me tell you, I'm walking away from this with this. Okay. As you know, I'm not that gal with the IT thing and all of that. But for me, what clicked was this CMMC is to your industry, whichever one it is, as Joint Commission is to mine with healthcare.
Yeah.
Is Joint Commission required? No. But we do know and we do see it is moving that way. And we do know and we do see it's going to eventually become that. So getting on top of this now, that's the goal.
And keep your finger on the pulse. The industry changes and you just got to change with it. And with anything, I know as small businesses, I hear it all the time. I hear it a million times on every call that I get with a small business. I'm small. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest with you guys. I didn't start my business till I had like 200 grand in the account. Then I felt cool to say, I can get this. I can do this, right? Like, I don't know what people think when they just I got a dream. Cool. But let's be real. You got a dream, but do you have any funds?
And again, this is why we reiterate this particular conversation. I want to be clear. It's not for every contractor that's listening. Some of us are small, and we're just taking 1 or 2 FTEs here and subbing here. This particular episode are for those that are really established in innovative, creative ideas, and you know that you're going to have to amend yourself to these requirements.
And last but not least, as a consulting company that touches CUI all the time, because I touch my client's CUI, I need to be level 2 as well.
Oh,
And so do you guys. All you little proposal writers out there, they got your own consulting companies. Get it. But
get it.
you need to
Get it.
protect your client's data. That's a
Yes.
requirement. We need to be compliant to serve our clients so our clients can continuously serve the warfighter. We are not anything special. We need to be that way as well. So it's something that's going to be for everyone.
And I think that's a consideration for the consultant that you pick. Are they CMMC certified? Do they hold those? Or do they actually have a plan to become that in the next few months?
And you could usually I always tell people, follow your gut. You are a small business. Your money matters. Doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. Like, you want to give it away easily. You want to give it to someone that's going to create real results.
Yes.
So my suggestion is, don't choose someone that's going to do a time and material base, because they'll just run up those hours.
Ooh,
Stick
good
to
point.
someone that will give you a fixed price and it's based on deliverables.
Good
That
point.
feels fair, because if you don't feel like you're not getting for the first deliverable, you're not due to support the next deliverable, right?
Absolutely.
Like, phased approaches. The government lets you do that, so why can't a consulting company? If they just want all that money up front, or if they just want to bill you per hour, well then
Don't do it.
broke. You'll be broke and begging for your money back. So just be smart about it. Follow your instincts, do your gut check. But just know this ain't going nowhere. So educate yourself.
Wow.
You'll be good.
I'm actually going to walk away today and I'm going to talk some shit, because I'm going to call somebody and act like I really know what I'm talking about. I mean,
Ooh.
you know how I feel. You always bringing me in on something that I don't know.
That's all right, because we're going to have our next conversation is about healthcare staffing. Because, I'm really good in a lot of industries, but not 100% on healthcare staffing. I've helped people win in staffing, and in behavioral health, I've helped.
Ooh.
But I still struggle a little bit, especially with medical, especially with per diem, with temp to hire, travel nursing. Like, I have so many questions. So we're going to flip the script next time.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to
Okay.
do a little my Q&A to you.
And we're asking our friends and family and everyone, send your questions in.
Yes.
You know, whatever you're thinking about, eventually we'll get brave enough that I'll be able to go live and be okay with that. But send your questions in. Ask us anything.
Yes. And just so you know, we will be sending out invites. We are going to be throwing a proposal workshop in O'Fallon, Illinois. And that is going to be a 4 to 6 hour training between Tammy and I. Tammy's going to start with capture management and feed it along to me to talk about what I do with all that capture she's gotten in a proposal.
Here you go, Natasha, all the capture. Now go fix it.
And so we'll be there. We'll send out that information in a group email to everyone so that you can attend if you'd like. I will also be at the National Vets Tampa Engagement Dinner here in Tampa, Florida on March 25th. I will be talking about government contracting, how you can get into it, how I can help you with it, and all the things. And for now, I think that's enough information for you guys. Do you have any?
Yeah, and if you are in the DC area coming up, we're going to be at AMSUS. That is a wonderful, especially if you're in healthcare, it is an excellent opportunity for you to come out to meet not only myself, but just tons and tons of really, really good companies that I've worked with over the years. That would be great opportunities for you to meet. Learn about the needs of the Department of Defense in particular and their medical staffing needs, get a chance to get out and meet some of these contracting folks. So we're excited.
Yeah, and if you see us, don't be shy. We're very social.
Talk to us.
We probably got a contract for you.
All right.
All right, guys, it was amazing talking to you. Please, as always, like, subscribe, hit that little bell, and I look forward to seeing you on the next. Bye.